Hi guys, welcome back to Hogwarts Legacy for some more reading. This time of the collections, specifically the REVELIO pages. No long intro this time, let's just get right into reading them because there are a lot of pages to get through for Hogsmeade, Hogwarts, and the Highlands. So, the first page is the Three Broomsticks, currently run by Serona Ryan and allegedly as old as Hogsmeade itself. The Three Broomsticks is the long-standing gathering spot for villagers and Hogwarts students who want to enjoy a butterbeer or fire a whiskey. Three Broomsticks Private Room. The Three Broomsticks Private Room is a secluded space off the main room of the pub. Hogwarts professors appreciate having a separate area in which to gather to avoid encountering students. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the students appreciate their professors having a separate area as well. Butterbeer barrels. These barrels contain the popular wizarding drink Butterbeer. It is served both cold and hot, and has a slight alcoholic content that seems to impact house elves much more than humans. Ceridwen's precarious cauldrons. This precariously stacked set of cauldrons outside Ceridwen's advertises the shop's wares. It should be noted that stacking cauldrons in this fashion, while admittedly eye-catching, is ill-advised for anyone wishing to brew a potion of any intended effect. A Sneakoscope. A Sneakoscope is a type of dark detector and will spin, whistle, and light up when it detects someone untrustworthy nearby. It should be used with caution, however, as it will alert the untrustworthy to the user's presence almost instantly. The Dogweed and Deathcap tree. This large tree with winding branches supports the shop Dogweed and Deathcap. Hogsmeade Community Garden. The small community garden in the heart of the village is the perfect spot for growing various herbs and peaceful magical plants. Gladrags mannequin. Unlike the enchanted mannequins favored by students for dueling practice, the mannequins at Gladrags serve only as means to display the latest in wizarding fashion. Gladrags Wizardwear. Founded in 1750 and with locations in Paris, London, and Hogsmeade, Gladrags offers a variety of wizarding garments and accessories. Mr. Augustus Hill and his associate Otto Dibble happily help all those who wander into the shop, enjoying in particular the challenge of the customer with less fashion sense than most. Hogshead Docks. These docks outside the Hogshead Inn offer a pleasant place to sit and relax. If one can do so whilst only a stone's throw from whatever nefarious goings-on may be occurring in the notoriously shady inn. Mounted Hogshead. The This mounted hog's head rolls its eyes and snuffles its nose as it oversees the seedy atmosphere and decidedly interesting clientele of the Hog's Head. Exploding bonbons. These treats explode when eaten. Although they are unlikely to cause serious injury, one is advised to chew carefully. Honeydukes. Honeydukes Sweet Shop sells a variety of magical sweets, from Fizzing Whizzbees to exploding bonbons. Customers would be wise to know precisely what effects they may experience before sampling this shop's wares. Fizzing Whizzbees. These delicious sweets, rumored to contain billywig stings, are small sherbet balls that when consumed will levitate one a few inches off the ground. The Magic Neep cart. This cart belongs to Timothy Teasdale, who runs the Magic Neep. He enjoys being in the thick of things and engaging with customers outside the shop. Abandoned shop. The proprietor of this abandoned shop is said to have used a shrinking charm to aid in storing his inventory. However, a slight miscalculation ended up, for all intents and purposes, vanishing it. Ollivander's Wand Shop. Wands of a variety of woods and all manner of flexibility, each possessing one of 3 magical cores, choose their owners in this cozy, cluttered shop run by the amiable and knowledgeable Grimbald Ollivander. In the profession of wandcraft since 382 BC, the Ollivander family are considered the best wand makers in Britain, if not the world. J. Pippin's Potions. J. Pippin's Potions, established in 1753, is the apothecary in Hogsmeade, where proprietor Perry Pippin sells a wide variety of potions and their ingredients. Hengist of Woodcroft. The statue is of Hufflepuff Hengist of Woodcroft, believed to be the founder of the village of Hogsmeade, after having been driven from his home by Muggle persecutors. Magical Mail. These chutes in the post office magically sort various bits of mail. The post office itself houses over 200 owls, color-coded based on how quickly a particular letter or parcel needs to be delivered. Scrivenshaft cats. These cats seem to stay close to Scrivenshaft's quill shop. Perhaps it's the feather quills that entice them, or perhaps it's the treats the owner often leaves for them. Spindwitch's Sporting Needs. Run by the amiable Albie Weeks, this shop sells all manner of wizarding sporting goods, including the latest broom models. Gossip around town is that Albie himself is working on a number of broom enhancements. Tea shop decor. Reflective of proprietor Mrs. Steepley's taste, this tea shop is awash in the color pink and frills. A cheery, tinkly bell chimes whenever a customer enters. Enhanced staircase. This enchanted staircase in tomes and scrolls reveals itself when a particular book is moved. The proprietor here, Thomas Brown, sells a variety of written products, including spellcrafts, handy for conjuration. Brood and Peck. Proprietor Ellie Peck is a fierce protector of beasts and will give you a fair price for any beasts in need of a safe home. Brood and Peck is the shop to visit for beast byproducts like Fwooper feathers and Niffler fur. Hogsmeade. The only all-wizarding village in Britain, Hogsmeade has been a favourite haunt of Hogwarts students, 3rd year and up, for centuries. Water Well. The savvy traveller knows that some water wells may have more to offer than this relatively innocuous water well in the village of Hogsmeade. Dung Bomb. A favourite among pranksters, the dung bomb produces a foul odour, causing anyone in the vicinity to evacuate post-haste. Frog Spawn Soap. An amphibious surprise awaits anyone who tries to wash with this particular bar of soap. Once submerged in water, a cohort of wriggling tadpoles hatches right out of the suds. And the last entry for Hogsmeade is Zonko's Joke Shop. Frequented regularly by Hogwarts students and villagers alike, Zonko's is the place to buy pranks and jokes in Hogsmeade. I guess we might get through this in one video since most of the entries are pretty short. Anyway, so moving along with the Hogwarts pages. Tapestry of Barnabas the Barmy. This tapestry depicts the wizard Barnabas the Barmy's foolish attempt to train trolls for the ballet. One can only imagine the impact on the arts had he succeeded. Astronomy Telescope. This telescope is the finest stargazing instrument of its kind, perfect for viewing the moon and the stars and anything else one might find in the night sky. Partial Transfiguration. This partially transfigured teacup, likely the soon-to-be reversed error of a 2nd year, serves as a cautionary tale for those students who do not take seriously the complexities and dangers of transfiguration. Portrait of Barufio. This portrait depicts the wizard Barufio, famed for his brain elixir, and as an example of what happens when incantations are improperly spoken. He once said S instead of F, and found himself on the floor with a buffalo on his chest. I tried to figure out what he said. So if he said S instead of F, but cheft isn't a word. I don't know. Maybe I'm too dumb to get it. Anyway, next is Broken Broom. This broken broom belonged to Celine Wortnaby. How do you say that? Wortnaby, and is rumored to be all that remains after she insisted on demonstrating her experimental lunar apparition charm to fellow 3rd years. No one knows if she succeeded. Flattened Armor. This set of armor belonged to Sir Scagglethorpe the Heedless, who unwisely challenged a mountain troll to a game of musical chairs. Goblin artifact. Horns like this were used by goblins during the 1612 Goblin Rebellion to rally troops and generally annoy witches and wizards. This horn was discovered in the aftermath of the rebellion behind the Hogsheade Inn, with a wedge of gorgonzola stuffed inside, presumably to mute it. Three Sisters Bells. The Three Sisters Bells are said to be a tribute to the three similarly named beautiful steep ridges that rise majestically over a glen in Argyllshire. It is rumoured that one can hear them ring in the glen way across the Highlands when they are rung in the castle. Locals have been baffled by the mysterious ringing for years. Scorch marks. Allegedly the location of the first known instance of an arguably successful casting of Bombarda. Date unknown, caster unidentifiable. Grimbald Weft. This is the skull of famed tailor Grimbald Weft, whose skilled needlework repaired countless witches' and wizards' coats during the Goblin Rebellion of 1752, thus preventing them from taking ill during battle. A frog choir. Here perch the slimy yet symbolic frogs that comprise the Hogwarts Frog Choir. These magical amphibians can sing in 6-part harmony and hold a pitch better than most humans. The Waving Knight. This set of armor belonged to Sir Ashpuddle of the Cheerful Countenance, a legendarily friendly knight who supposedly won every battle before it was fought by virtue of his amiable negotiating tactics. Some attribute his success to an overly potent cheering charm he cast upon himself. History of Magic Windows. This set of stained glass windows features Merlin, the 4 Hogwarts founders, and various other witches and wizards of the ages. Wooden Cat. This wooden statue bears the likeness of Pangurdon, fearless feline mouse hunter and devoted study companion. Black Lake. The Black Lake, or Great Lake, the sitting headmaster vainly prefers the Prior, is an expanse of fresh water south of the castle. The lake's murky depths are home to mer-people, grindylows, and other magical aquatic beasts and beings, including the giant squid, a surprisingly friendly cephalopod with a fondness for toast. It's very random. Underground Harbour. Located deep beneath the viaduct courtyard is the landing for boats delivering first-year students across the Black Lake to Hogwarts. Arithmancy Classroom. This classroom is where students learn about the magical properties of numbers and numerology, though a great many opt instead to spend the period counting mooncalves whilst nodding off at their desks. Central Hall Fountain. This ornate fountain features intricately carved statues of denizens of the magical world, including a set of stone sirens encircling the fountain's base. Clock mechanics. While the moving gears of the clock tower's inner mechanics serve as a deterrent to many, others find the privacy offered by the cogs and wheels appealing. The Well of Four Beasts. Some students believe that a wish made over the Well of Four Beasts, whether near the Thestral, Griffin, Chimera, or Hippogriff, will come true for one who has gained the trust of any of the four. Haunted toilets. Unless in dire straits, it is probably best to avoid this particular toilet, as it is allegedly one of Peeves' favorite pranking spots. Augury skeleton. This is a skeleton of an Irish phoenix or augury, an intensely shy bird who can forecast the coming of rain and whose mournful cry was once believed to foretell death. Boggart closet. This old cupboard is said to have once contained a powerful boggart that 5 professors working together could barely repel, as it shifted among werewolf, tornado, a plate of haggis, a Hungarian horntail, and someone's mother-in-law. Dark Tower Cell. It is said that centuries ago a charms professor kept a troll here on which students could practice particularly challenging spells. Shocking to be sure, but perhaps unsurprising during a time when Quidditch involved the use of live snidgets. One can only wonder what it may be used for in the future. Hebridean Black skeleton. This large dragon skeleton that hangs in the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom is allegedly a trophy taken by Professor Hecat after she single-handedly defeated one of the largest poaching rings in eastern Wales during the Great Poacher Raid of 1878. Painting of Ilias. This painting depicts the young orphan wizard Ilias, who famously saved his entire village from an army of Dementors and the dark wizards Rexidian by conjuring a mouse Patronus. Serpentine Beast window. Although Slytherins like to think this window is somehow a tribute to their house founder, it is actually a serpentine beast coiled around a tree that extends from the mouth of the legendary Green Man. Professor Sharp's Auror Badge. Aurors comprise the Ministry's magical law enforcement and protect the wizarding world from all sorts of threats, particularly those posed by dark magic. This Auror badge belongs to Professor Sharp. Gorgon portrait. An oil painting of a beautiful Gorgon and her suitor, whose eyes are wisely averted as he bends to kiss her hand. It is said that the artist who painted this accidentally gazed at his subject when he delivered the painting, and is now forever a sculpture in a garden in Greece. Urn of Ashes. This particular urn is rumored to have once borne the inscription, "Pioneer in Dragon Taming." Should not have started with the Hungarian horntail. Salazar Slytherin's Scriptorium. A secret and well-protected room beneath Hogwarts, where Salazar Slytherin appears to have spent time making various long-term plans with respect to the student population and reflecting on disagreements he had with the other founders. Map of Argyllshire. This map depicts Argyllshire, a region in Scotland which contains the Hebrides, native home of the Hebridean Black Dragon. Boris the Bewildered. The statue of a lost-looking wizard known as Boris the Bewildered has perplexed students for ages. Is he coming or going? Is he at the beginning of a journey or the end? Perhaps we shall never know. Lachlan the Lanky. The statue depicts the wizard Lachlan the Lanky, a tall, slender wizard who appears quite proud of himself. For what precisely, no one knows. Adventure novel set. Sketched inside the cover of this old, slightly worn set of serialized adventure novels is what looks like a gazelle. Perhaps the novels were a gift to Professor Onai or her daughter Natsai. Prefect's bathroom. The prefect's bathroom features a swimming pool-sized bathtub that can be filled with enchanted soap and colorful bubbles, as well as a beautiful painted mural depicting a mermaid. Honeydukes passageway. Hidden behind the statue of a one-eyed witch is a secret passageway from Hogwarts to the cellar at Honeydukes. It can only be accessed using a particular charm. Jewel-encrusted tortoise shell. Many assume this to be the shell of a fire crab, native to Fiji. However, those in the know swear it's a bejeweled tortoise shell, created by a mad wizard near Versailles. When his chateau was overrun by nifflers, the dazzling shell was carried off to be discovered years later by a Hogwarts professor on holiday in the Ardennes. Quill of Acceptance and Book of Admittance. The Quill of Acceptance and Book of Admittance were placed here by the founders and have not been touched since. They record the name of every prospective Hogwarts student the moment they first show signs of magic, although the quill is more lenient than the book, which will sometimes snap shut before a name is written if the evidence of magic is not dramatic enough. Centaur armor. This unique set of armor was created as a misguided peace offering to a centaur leader. The gift was spurned, and the messenger shot through the leg with an arrow. The armor itself, battered with hoof marks, was later recovered and refurbished. Moving staircase. The savvy student is wise to keep an eye on the stairs, as they will change position without notice. While certain students may not mind being late for class, they may very well regret being late to dinner. Headmaster's Office Gargoyle. The staircase that leads to the headmaster's office is guarded by an enchanted gargoyle that will let only those who know the password enter. though anyone choosing to visit the current occupant of the office is difficult to fathom. Goblet of Fire Casket. The Goblet of Fire rests within this ancient, jewel-encrusted chest. The goblet has served as a means of selecting champions for the Tri-Wizard tournament since the contest's establishment in the late 13th century. House Elf Armor. This set of armor for a house elf is rumored to have been made by a cruel wizard who wanted his elf to protect him in battle. Happily, the wizard was too dense to realize that armor could in fact be considered clothing. The moment the elf donned it, he disapparated right out of it, never to be seen again. Sleeping Portraits. Not all headmasters and headmistresses enjoy reliving the day-to-day challenges of running a school of witchcraft and wizardry. Some prefer to enjoy a well-earned nap when possible. The Sorting Hat. This enchanted hat was created by the 4 founders of Hogwarts as a means by which students would be placed into one of the 4 school houses. Skilled at legilimency, the Sorting Hat can see into the wearer's head, allowing it to determine their thoughts and abilities. Troll Armor. This unusual suit of armor was crafted for a troll. That it has survived at all is astonishing, since trolls do not ordinarily wear armor and would understandably be prone to smashing it in confusion or anger. Trophy Room. This room contains the house cup, Quidditch trophies, dueling trophies, and other awards given at the school. Students who step out of line can be found polishing the silver here, by hand, as a reminder of the value of hard work. The Hogwarts Architect. The Hogwarts Architect, shown here surrounded by the 4 house mascots, designed and oversaw the construction of Hogwarts Castle alongside founder Rowena Ravenclaw, who is credited with creating its ever-changing floor plan. The Great Hall Ceiling. The ceiling of the Great Hall has been bewitched to mimic the sky above the castle. The Yawning Gargoyle. Although this smoke-breathing gargoyle might appear to be enchanted, it is actually the Hufflepuff common room chimney. Hogwarts Crest. The Hogwarts coat of arms includes a lion, snake, eagle, and badger, representing each of the 4 houses, along with the school motto, Draco dormiens nunquam titilandus, which means never tickle a sleeping dragon. House Point Hourglasses. These large, ornate hourglasses containing rubies, diamonds, sapphires, and emeralds are enchanted to keep count of house points for Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin, respectively. Owl Lectern. This enchanted lectern serves as the spot from which the great headmistresses and headmasters of Hogwarts, as well as Professor Black, addressed the school. Greenhouse Tree. Situated at the center of Hogwarts Greenhouse, this giant tree has a system of roots as deep-reaching and convoluted as the school's dungeons. Dirigible plums. This orange, radish-like fruit floats upside down as it grows. Some believe it can enhance one's ability to accept the extraordinary. Bloody meat. At first glance, one might be inclined to alert the authorities regarding this sight. Rest assured, however, that it is merely bloody meat used to feed the thestrals. Caged bathtub. This bathtub has been kept behind lock and key for as long as anyone can remember. Rumor has it that the tub was enchanted to chase after students decades ago who were too obsessed with their studies to care much for personal hygiene. Glumbumbles. Glumbumbles are magical flying insects that produce a treacle which will cause melancholy if consumed. They feed on nettles and nest in dark and secluded places. Unfortunately, they are known to infest beehives, having a devastating effect on the honey therein. Castle ramparts. Along with powerful protective enchantments, these defensive ramparts have safeguarded Hogwarts Castle for centuries. The ancient rooms and corridors along the ramparts might be worth exploring, as they harbor mysteries of their own. Hogwarts owls. School owls and owls owned by students can be found in the Hogwarts Owlery. One is advised to explore carefully, keeping an eye out for owl droppings and regurgitated mouse skeletons. Quidditch pitch. The Hogwarts Quidditch pitch is the site of intense house rivalries, as chasers, beaters, keepers, and seekers take to the skies in pursuit of the Quidditch Cup. That is, of course, when the favorite sport of the wizarding world has not been cancelled for the year by an exceptionally oblivious headmaster. Statue of Gregory the Smarmy. The statue with an ingratiating grin depicts the medieval wizard Gregory the Smarmy, the wizard famous for inventing Gregory's unctuous unction, a potion that makes the drinker believe whoever gave them the potion is their best friend. Unicorn Fountain. The majestic unicorn fountain gives an air of serenity and calm to the hospital wing at Hogwarts. Hufflepuff barrels. To enter the Hufflepuff common room, one must tap the barrel 2 from the bottom, middle of the second row, in the rhythm of Helga Hufflepuff. An errant tap will result in being denied access and doused in vinegar. Kitchen tables. When Hogwarts house elves place prepared food on these tables, it is magically transferred to the tables in the Great Hall directly above. Pear portrait. If one tickles the pear in this still life painting of a bowl of fruit, it will giggle before turning into a doorknob to allow entry to the Hogwarts kitchen. House elf living quarters. Ever practical and creative, the Hogwarts house elves have created a cozy village-like home for themselves along these barrels in the Hogwarts kitchen. Of course, one cannot presume to know what they're really like inside, as house elves have an extraordinary magic of their own. House Elf Recipe Book. Rumored to contain some of Helga Hufflepuff's original creations, this book holds a collection of Hogwarts students' favorite recipes over the centuries. Some dishes, like pickled dirigible plums, are likely an acquired taste. The Old Librarian. One of the first librarians of Hogwarts is depicted here. Rumor is that he had no tolerance whatsoever for noisy students, and was known for his liberal use of the silencing charm at the slightest sneeze. Enchanted books. Best to avoid these books if possible, due not as much to their tendency to fly from one's hands, as to their content being spectacular drivel of no educational value whatsoever. A palmistry model. This standing model of a hand is demarcated to help students in the practice of palmistry. Depending upon the angle at which this model is read, it either has a considerable lifeline or is likely to die in a fortnight. Book on Intermediate Transfiguration. This book is designed to help guide the student who wishes to pursue more complicated types of transfiguration. Professor Weasley often recommends it to her advanced students as a bit of light reading. Alchemy class. An arcane subject offered to older students on the rare occasion when demand suffices. Alchemy focuses on the 4 natural elements and the science of transmutation. Important Muggle artifact. This misunderstood artifact is supposedly important to Muggle warfare, though most of wizardkind find the prospect of wielding such a hefty weapon utterly head-scratching. Sleeping Dragon Statue. The Hogwarts motto, Draco dormiens nunquam titilandus, means never tickle a sleeping dragon. Fortunately, this particular sleeping dragon is made of stone and will never awaken. It may be tickled to absolutely no effect. Sphinx Statue. The Sphinx, a beast with a human head on a lion's body, has been used by witches and wizards for centuries to guard valuables and secret hideaways due to its intelligence and affinity for puzzles and riddles. Werewolf Saga Tapestries. This set of tapestries tells the tragic tale of a witch bitten by a werewolf. She chose to flee from her home to protect her infant daughter and husband. Rumor has it that her daughter fell asleep to the howl of a wolf for years thereafter. Groundskeeper Tools. One might surmise that this set of tools could be enchanted to create all sorts of furnishings for a cozy hut, as large as the occupant may need. Fat Lady Portrait. This portrait guards the Gryffindor common room, requiring a password from any who wish to enter. She and her friends Violet are known to wander among the other portraits, periodically helping themselves to vats of wine therein. Ravenclaw Bust. This bust, created in honor of Ravenclaw House, resides in the lofty Ravenclaw Tower. Ravenclaw Door Knocker. To gain entrance to the Ravenclaw Common Room, one must solve a rather esoteric riddle using logic and reasoning posed by the Eagle Door Knocker. I suddenly realized that all of this is not, all these entries cannot be found if you're any other house than the house you're in, because you can't enter the common rooms of other houses. Which makes sense, but I never realized until now. Death Day Party Room. This gloomy, spacious chamber in the lower dungeons of Hogwarts is perfect for occasional Death Day party celebrated here by the castle ghosts. Most mortals will want to avoid such festivities, as the food served is frequently rotting, so the ghosts can detect its aroma. Kelpie statue. This statue depicts a Kelpie, a shape-shifting water demon native to Ireland and Great Britain, which usually takes the form of a long-maned horse. The largest Kelpie ever reported is the Loch Ness Monster in Scotland. Slytherin's Sink. Scratched into one of the copper taps on this seemingly ordinary sink in the girls' toilets is a small snake. No one knows what it means. I do. Everyone who's seen the movie or read the books does. Wyvern Fountain. This fountain in the Transfiguration courtyard has a likeness of a wyvern on top and serves as a relaxing place for students to gather. Despite rumors to the contrary, possibly started by Sir Cadogan, this is most assuredly not meant to be the wyvern of Wye, slain by the lively knight in spite of himself. Detention Chamber. This chamber allegedly served as the school's preferred location for punishing students. Though physical torture is no longer utilized during detention, the aura of such horrific practice lingers. Headless Hunt Tapestry. This tapestry depicts the Headless Hunt, a group of headless ghosts organized by Sir Patrick Delaney Podmore to play various headless games. They are notorious for refusing to admit Gryffindor House ghost Sir Nicholas, the Mimsy Porpington, to their ranks, as he is not entirely headless. Pungent Passage. This passage is relatively nondescript as far as passages go. However, the mishandling of a crop of Mimbulus Mimbletonia in the 16th century and the accompanying tsunami of stink sap left it with a rancid odor that even the strongest scouring charm cannot seem to eradicate. And the last Hogwarts entry is a portrait of Sir Cadogan. Sir Cadogan was allegedly friends with Merlin himself, and as such became a sworn knight of the Round Table, although he is only really known to the wizarding world. He is famous for his defeat of the Wyvern of Wye, and now spends his days challenging students to duels. Okay, and then lastly, the Highlands pages. Spider parts. It seems someone has been collecting acromantula parts for profit. Lucrative perhaps if one is willing to risk one's life to obtain the required inventory. Beehives. The wizarding world needs honey for their tea as much as the muggle world does. Giant shade tree. This gorgeous tree has served as a home to countless bowtruckles, fairies, and even, rumor has it, an augury or two. Many simply enjoy it for its shade. Broken binoculars. These broken binoculars were left here by muggles attempting to track what they suspected was an odd-looking bear, but what was likely a demiguise. They could not for the life of them understand how something could seem to disappear so quickly. Abandoned bothy. This broken down old bothy used to shelter traveling witches and wizards from the elements. Over time, however, the surrounding bog began to reclaim the bothy. These days it only plays host to the odd dug bog or two. Chocolate frogs. Likely left behind by a Hogwarts student visiting Hogsmeade, these enchanted confections hop around like real frogs, and each comes with a collectible card featuring a famous witch or wizard. Cinnamon bark. It seems that at least one goblin finds the food at this encampment a bit bland and has taken to adding cinnamon bark to their stew to liven it up. Actually, come to think of it, would have been a fun collectible to have some cards in the game. Anyway, antique compass. Unfortunately, the fact that this antique muggle compass was dropped here means the muggle who dropped it is probably wandering through Wales by now. Lace doily. The locals say that this doily was left as a tribute to a beloved house elf who dreamed of one day wearing it. Doxy egg. Stolen by poachers for use in potions, these black eggs come from a doxy, a magical beast sometimes mistaken for a fairy. Practice dummies. The residents of Feldcroft sometimes use these to practice their spell casting, especially in light of recent goblin attacks. Allihotzi fudge. Made with the leaves of the Allihotzi tree, this fudge is a delightful confection that causes uncontrollable laughter. Ginger root. The barkeep in Cambridge keeps a stock of ginger root handy to fend off his customers' nausea and keep them imbibing a bit longer. Hebridean Black scale. The Hebridean Black is a large dragon that can grow to over 9 meters in length. A large, rough scale, originally belonging to one of these beasts, is one of the prized possessions that Archie Bickle keeps in his hideout. Hogsmeade Station Ticket Office. This station has stood here since the early 1800s, when Minister for Magic Odalyn Gamble acquired a steam engine train to transport students to Hogwarts. The station appeared in Hogsmeade virtually overnight, just after the train did. The operation involved using a lot of memory charms on Muggle workers, and the largest mass concealment charm ever performed in Britain. Antique horn. This oddly shaped horn was used centuries ago by a Muggle boatman to keep monsters in the water at bay as travelers crossed by boat. Of course, it did no such thing, as no magical water beast would be repelled by a horn. More likely, the boatman was simply lucky, until he wasn't. Jeweled brooch. The gorgeous brooch depicts a magical bird of some sort. Which particular magical bird is unclear, but some believe it's meant to represent one of medieval Irish druidess Cleodna's birds who sang the sick to sleep. Sorry if you're Irish and I don't know how to pronounce Irish names. Lovage bouquet. I'm assuming it's French. This memorial, or lovage bouquet, I don't know. This memorial serves as a grim reminder of the power of magical beasts. Years ago, a young witch was killed here by a graphorn as she awaited her true love. That love now returns to this spot to remember her and leave a bouquet of lovage, her favorite plant. Murtlap tentacles. Murtlap tentacles are a rare potion ingredient known to raise resistance to certain dark charms and contain healing properties. An overdose, however, can cause purple ear hair. Pungus onion bulb. Pungus onion is a particularly powerful onion used in some potions, including the cure for boils. It's best not to touch it with bare hands. Peruvian instant darkness powder. When thrown in the air, this powder from Peru creates an impenetrable darkness resistant to most light creation spells. The Ashwinders have been using it to steal from surrounding areas without detection. Pumpkin fizz. Pumpkin fizz is a fashionable carbonated drink with a pumpkin flavor. It has yet to become as popular here as butterbeer, but one never knows. Squib cottage. This idyllic country cottage belongs to an elderly squib who chose to live in the wizarding world rather than try to integrate with muggles like some squibs do. He is content to farm his land non-magically and supply local hamlets with fresh fruits and vegetables, although he will accept the occasional engorgement charm on a gourd or two. Runespore egg. Produced via the mouth of the three-headed snake, runespore eggs are known to enhance mental agility and as such are often used in potions. Enchanted scarecrow. This mischievous-looking scarecrow was long ago enchanted to watch over the garden and ward off crows, but now simply harasses gardeners by shouting insults at them while they work. Dragon skeleton. This dragon skeleton may have been here for years, or it could be the result of recent poaching activity. Be wary. Spider sign. Evidently, a spider infestation has made this area particularly treacherous. One wonders how many areas could use a sign like this. the Tilted House. The locals call this the Tilted House due to the odd angle at which it sits, wrapped in the roots of the overhanging tree. Acromantula venom. Both extremely valuable and extremely poisonous. This venom is secreted from the pincers of the carnivorous Acromantula. For obvious reasons, it is much easier to harvest the venom from a dead spider than a living one. And the last Revelio page, the Feldcroft Well. The well in Feldcroft ran dry some 400 years ago during a great drought. Sadly, many perished as a result, including at least one young boy whose father refused to speak for years thereafter. Legend says that all was saved when a group of benevolent witches and wizards used a never-before-seen powerful magic to restore water to the region. Okay, that is it for the Revelio pages. Again, a pretty long video, but not ridiculously long like the previous one would have been if I didn't split it. So the next and last video, we'll read the enemies and the beasts, because everything else isn't really worth reading, in my opinion. Yeah. So that's going to be it for this one. As always, thank you very much for watching and for listening, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.